How you doing? It's Alex, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, right, Alex.
Rock, Ruckus is lying. I'm never gonna shout at you. I'm not gonna do that. He's just trying to.
Everything is good. I'm
Yeah,
not
cool.
afraid of some shouts.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, doing fine. A little bit stressed because I'm traveling the whole world, but
I was
we
about
got
to
here in
say.
time.
I was about to say
Yeah,
you're in a hotel.
yeah. I just checked in like 5 minutes ago. I said to the
Uh,
to the lady, "Brev, we need some speed here because otherwise I'm not gonna make it." So we did everything very quick, and right now I'm in Poland. I'm in Poland.
oh, okay. And you're saying you're traveling. Is it traveling around Europe or traveling globally?
Right now, I'd say globally. In January, I was in Amsterdam. Then I've traveled a
Nice.
little bit to Milan, and right now I'm here in Poland for a couple of days. So
Okay,
I'm
cool.
trying
But
to.
you're Italian, no?
I'm from Italy. Yeah. I'm from somewhere in the north of Italy. It's where I come from, and yeah, now that I have the freedom, I try to travel as much as I can. You
As
know.
much as possible can do, which is absolutely right.
Yeah.
So I've the only place that I've been to in Italy is Rome.
Well, yeah.
Um, because I
I've been
wanted
to
to
Rome
go.
quite. Please, please.
Yeah, no, I wanted to just go and have a look at the sites and see all the bits and pieces. Yeah, it was cool. It was pretty cool. That was a few years ago, but it was pretty cool. Pretty
Well,
cool. So,
there's a lot to see here.
how long are you in Poland for?
I'm in Poland for a couple of days, just my mother's birthday, so we're spending a couple of days here, and just a quick look to the city, and then we go back to get some work done.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're traveling with your mum, or are you traveling to see your mum?
With I
Oh, okay,
booked
nice,
this trip, so we're doing something beautiful for her birthday.
nice, nice. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Why Poland?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just
I don't know. It
random.
just random. I wanted to explore the map, and Poland just did it for
Came
me
up.
this time. So
Okay,
I
cool.
booked,
Nice.
and it's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if you've ever been here.
No, I haven't. I haven't been. Uh, Rory has.
Okay.
So Rory has. So I haven't. He says it's really nice. He really enjoys it. He's been there a couple of times actually. In all fairness. So yeah, he really enjoys it. So yeah, it's all good. So tell me a bit about yourself. How old you are? I know your name's
Yeah.
Alex. I know you're
So yeah,
Italian.
we know that I'm Alex. I come from Italy. 22 years old, and right now I am basically self-employed. So I have a little bit of freedom in terms of geographical freedom, and right now I'm using it to travel a little bit the world and see like everything which
See what everything's
just
like.
gets
Yeah,
my
no, I get it.
attention. I Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're fairly young. So when did you join the real world, and what was you doing prior to joining the real world?
It's a very good question. I actually joined the real world the very first day when it launched. Actually, when it rebranded to Hustlers University, Hustlers University became TRW. It was
Okay,
November of a couple of years ago, actually.
okay.
And back then, I was without a job. I just dropped out of school, and I didn't have a job. So I said, why not? Let's join TRW, see what it has to offer, and then step by step, I've climbed the ladder, and right now, I'm enjoying some fruits.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. So what inspired you to join the real world? Because obviously you said you left school. Y-
Yeah, I actually finished school. Then I had some bullshit job, just to get some money in. And then Andrew started coming up on my feed, and so I said, "Well, this guy knows one thing or two about business. Let's see what he has to offer." So I then left my job. I had a period where I was trying to figure things out, like 1 2 months. Then I joined the real world, and right after the real world, I just doubled down. I worked like never before, I would say, and everything started there.
Awesome, awesome. So what campus did you first explore into when you first
Well,
saw any?
that It's a long story actually, because I remember I joined specifically to see Andrew's Hustlers University. You know, the the um, the lessons he recorded himself, and that
Hmm.
was in business mastery. So I would say the first campus I joined was business mastery. Then I
Hmm.
hopped a little bit around, copywriting. I checked Hustlers campus, and now I'm back with Professor Arno. Business mastery is
Business master.
my campus. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I met Arno. Well, I've met Arno before, but I met him kind of briefly.
Okay,
So we get to see people from like the students from the TRW. We get to see people from War Room, and then we get to see the professors as well. But I met him briefly before. I think it might have been in Romania, and
okay,
then he was here the other day doing a War Room event,
okay.
and his name's popped up so many times I couldn't remember his face and I couldn't remember him. So it was actually nice to actually really meet him again properly this time, because all of the students within the real world always talk very very
Yeah,
highly about him. So yeah, it was just very very nice to kind of touch base, have a chat, and yeah, just get into it with him. So you joined, went around a bit, dipped your toe into that one, dipped your toe into that one. Um,
correct.
how long was it before you kind of settled with Professor Arno in a business mastery?
Well, I would say it was a quite long time. I wanted to make it sooner, but I just hopped a little bit left and right.
Yeah.
I've then spent quite some time in Dylan's campus, the
Hmm.
Hustlers campus, just to get some
Yeah.
money because I didn't have much. So I flipped a couple of things. I reframed a little bit also my mindset. I then got a little bit of money. I then
Hmm.
saw, well, investing looks cool. You can multiply your money. So I said, why not? Why not join Adam's campus, crypto investing? So I did that too. And then I said, well, at the end of the day, every successful man, every successful business owner has business skills. So business mastery is my
Is
campus,
the way.
and then I stick with Arno. He's a funny guy. He knows his stuff. There's
Yeah, he is.
plenty to
Yeah,
learn.
yeah.
So I said, well, let's stick here.
Cool. So within hopping around to all the different campuses, did you make any money? Or you said you made money in the Hustlers campus.
Correct.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because basically, when I joined, as we said, I didn't have a job, so I also didn't have much money.
mhm.
I flipped my way through life, just collecting some money here and there. I then multiplied a little bit with Professor Adam. I just made around I don't know, around 7 8 grand with Professor
Mhm.
Adam's campus, which is a lot of money actually when you're starting
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And then I used that capital to actually start my own business. And right now, since a couple of months, I have my own business, and I run basically what Professor Arnold's teaching us. So
Okay. What's so
SEO.
what's so what's your own business?
Right now, I am into marketing, so
Mhm.
helping local businesses with SEO, with meta ads, and everything regarding actually marketing. So that's my thing.
Okay, cool. So that must be going well for you right now because you're able to travel, you're able to expand out. And did you? I guess you took your mum for her birthday
Absolutely,
to.
you guessed right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there
yeah,
you
yeah.
go. So that's all good. So yeah, that must be pretty good for you to. I mean, you've start. How long was you in the business mastery before you started making money?
I was in business mastery for quite some time. Actually, I would say around like 6 7 months when I took it like seriously. So I
Mm,
needed to figure a lot of things out. And in the meantime, I also had a job, so it was quite
gotcha.
difficult
Manage.
to yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah,
I said, well, let me just quit this job and go all in into business mastery.
yeah.
And actually at the end of 2025 I quit my job. So it's been a couple of months where I basically have my own business and allow myself to see a little bit the world and what it has to offer,
Mm.
because when you make some money, you also get to do things that you
That you
couldn't
wouldn't
do
normally get
before.
to do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
what kind of figures are we making? Because it's been a couple of months, and then you're allowing yourself to travel about. So what kind of figures are you making?
I would
Um,
say my goal for the next few months is to be stable at 5K. Right now I'm swinging a little bit under the 5K. So
yeah, so it's up and down. So it's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
in total, you've done pretty well in
Correct.
the since your journey has started. So as a whole, you probably made anywhere between 10, 15K over
Yeah,
the
yeah, you can
period.
safely assume that. Yeah, 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 for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
Okay, cool. That's pretty good. Okay, cool. So then I kind of know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Did you
Let's go.
have any like what was the hardest part about your journey in the real world? Because you've been in there for a few years.
That's a very good question. And I guess the hardest part was just to start, because I was the type of guy who wanted to know everything before taking the first step. But I then figured out, well, if you never jump, you never know. So at the end of the day, you just have to start and figure it out along the way. That's the beauty of the
Mm,
game. And so yeah, at the beginning it took a little bit longer than I wanted, because I
mm,
just procrastinate and I didn't feel like having enough information. And
mm.
then something just clicked. I said, well, you're gonna be 22 just once in your life, so you gotta you gotta turn it around and
Yeah,
take the
absolutely.
risk.
Okay, cool. So that sounds pretty much, and I think it was just having a discipline to kind of go into one, stick with one, and work at one
Yeah,
as well,
yeah, that
rather
has
than
been
scoot around,
paramount.
trying to scoot around. So so yeah, sorry. So what I was to ask. So any kind of doubts or failures along the way. With that, what would you say was your biggest turning point along that way? So doubts, failures, and what was your biggest turning point?
Well, Nigel, you've been asking me very good questions. Actually, I need to think about this. Those are
I
very good
got you.
questions.
I got you. I'm delving deep into you.
But I would say that just when you start, you also experience a lot of failures, in a sense of you have a lot of fear of what other people think about you. And so
Mm,
that was one of the biggest hurdles for me. And right now I'm just at a point where I say, well, I try. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it just doesn't. And
100%.
that fear of judgment was also one of the biggest hurdles for me during this journey.
Mm. So um, I guess it's you kind of learn from your mistakes really, to be fair, and you learn from,
Yeah,
sometimes you just have to go for it and then see what the result's going to be. But if you put 100% into it, if you put 100% into anything, really, to be fair, you're bound to get something back out of it. It's hard for you to fail. If you put
100%.
100, it'd be hard for
Yeah,
you to fail if you put 100% into it. So,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
with that, what was your kind of biggest turning point? Your biggest realization?
My biggest realization is that I can actually make it. When you make that first few dollars online, you say, well, it's true. You can make
Yeah.
something out of the internet, like money from thin air, literally. And
Mm,
once when you do it once, you can just do it again if, like you said, you put 100% into it and you just stick to one thing. Because if you
yeah.
made it once, you can do it again.
You can do it again.
That's,
Exactly. You done one thing. As long as you follow the same plan, then it should be able to. You should be able to just keep going and going and going and going again.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Which is
yeah.
fine. What would you say was your biggest win, whether it be financial or whether it be personal to you?
My biggest win, I wouldn't even count it as financial. I would count it as being financially and location free, y-
I like that.
deciding where you
I
can
like.
be and when you can be.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always felt, like in a cage when you had a job, be here at this time, do this, do that. And right now I work harder than ever before, but I am
Yeah,
enjoying it more than ever
yeah,
before.
yeah,
That that's everything for me, you know.
yeah.
That's everything.
Sorry, I was going to say I say exactly the same thing to people, like with what I do. So sometimes I work like I can be free to do what I want to do when I want to do it, but I know I've got work to do. So
Yeah,
I might
yeah,
start work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I might finish at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
yeah,
who knows?
yeah, yeah,
Then I might start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I might finish at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I might just have a day off. I might not just sit there. I might just sit there and just do nothing. But I know I've still got work to do. But I might just sit there and do nothing. Or I might just jump on a plane and just go somewhere else. That freedom to do whatever you're holding yourself accountable for the things that you do. Um, so you know if you want to make X, you know you've got to do X, Y, Z to make X. So you know
yeah,
that
yeah,
you know
yeah, yeah,
whatever you put in is what you're going to get back out again, which is
yeah,
absolutely fantastic. So,
100%.
what does your business look like in the next 6 months?
Well, I plan to grow it even more. And as I grow it, to help more businesses actually, because I'm in the game of helping other businesses. So that's
Mhm.
what I like. That's what I want to do. And I'm planning again to be stable at 5K and then
Mhm.
travel the world even more. I have I
A
I
world
wouldn't know
traveler.
what I'm a war traveler. Like, if we have to be then very specific, I want to join the war room. That's for sure, and
Mhm.
that's like the next step for me, and meet even new people. And once you elevate your circle, you then just completely take the next step.
It's a fantastic building block because there's so many people that you can learn
Yeah,
from within a war room because they've all done it in different businesses. So
correct.
to have them as guidance and to knowledge, and you might tell them things that they don't know, and you'll learn from them as well. Um,
Yeah,
Being learning in today's modern world, because obviously when they made their millions, they'd probably be earlier at an earlier stage. Now the world's
yep,
changing. The world changes every single day. So you know
yep, yep,
things change, technology changes, everything changes. So you're a new person coming into it, and
correct.
they might not know things that you know, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Yep,
all war rooms, a great bunch
yeah,
of people, absolutely great bunch of people.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
do you have a plan on how you're going to achieve this 5K a month?
I have a plan. Yeah. Right now I'm doing a bunch of cold calls. So
Mm-hmm.
I am planning on switching to running actually ads to acquire clients, because I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be more high quality and less time demanding for me on one side, so I can focus more on the clients that I have and then acquire new clients. And so this is sort of the plan to actually get to this 5K a month. And once I join the war room, then new connections, new people, new opportunities, and that will be effectively the best next step for me. So
Mm.
that's the plan.
Do you have any testimonials from your previous clients?
I have some testimonials. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do you have your own like kind of website or LinkedIn page?
I have my own website. Yes. 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 I've
Do you
built
put
it
your
exactly as Arno said,
cool. Do you put
step
your
by step.
testimonials? Do you put your testimonials on your website?
I'm going to implement that. To be fair, I didn't do it now because I'm just focusing, on the work that needs to be done. So
Hmm.
right now, even the fact that I'm cold calling is a little bit more focused just on me getting clients instead of clients looking who I am. And right now I'm more a salesperson, in that regard. So I'm just straight up calling people and doing it that way.
I always give this little bit of advice as well to people, and I mean it's entirely up to you because I think both elements can work in exactly the same way. Obviously,
Yeah,
having testimonials on your website is very, very good for you because that gives them an insight to you and what other people think of you. So therefore, you've got kind of like like word of mouth goes a long way.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah, yeah.
if
Right.
I recommend you go to here, then you go to this. People have probably spoke to you about the war room and how good it is about how meeting people. So it's a word of mouth. So it's an aspiration for you to actually join the war room
Right.
because it's not just about that. It's the building blocks that you can have through different people and the people that you can meet who can open doors for you through other avenues. Being in
Absolutely.
Dubai right now, like going to a Warm event, you meet so many different people. Or if you meet the right people in Dubai, because Dubai is just like a central business hub. So when
Yeah.
you meet people, you don't talk about where you're going on a Friday night, what girl this, what girl that, what car are you driving. It's not about that. It's about, okay, cool. What do you do in business? How'd you start your business? What can I do to help your business? Um, how can we start a business? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just things
Yeah.
like that. So for
Absolutely.
me, that is probably one of the most important things that feedback wise, that you can get from being here. And, more importantly, from being around the right people. Thank you very much. From being around the right people as well, and that's
Yeah.
very important to
Yeah.
have your circle of people around you to that you can feed off of, and they can feed off of you, and they can push
100%.
you in, you know, right doors and open right doors and everything else like that. So that's important. So do you have a friendship group that you still hang out with from when you were younger, or have you kind of
From
moved
back
away?
in the day, not that much, to be honest. They just didn't align with my goals. And I just, I like working, and there are not many people who like working. So
Mm.
I somewhat isolated myself in that sense. But right now, I'm meeting new people, and I'm even thanks to those people, I'm leveling up. So network is your net worth. That is
Yeah,
for sure
I
true.
like that. I
Absolutely,
like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
it is 100%. The people around you define you as a person as well. So as long as you
Yeah,
got like
yeah,
headstrong, very focused minded people around you,
correct.
that's what kind of that's you got people around you. I mean, we used different analogies within our group, and if one person goes to the gym, or three of us go to the gym, then the other three have got to go to the gym.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just simple little things. If you're sitting there
yeah,
doing work, I'm not going to sit there and just I don't know, twiddle my thumbs and not do anything, look out the window. I'm going to get my laptop out and I'm going to do work because it's a
yeah,
working table. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
some
yeah.
people have, like, if we're sitting here with Andrew or T and they're just working, blah blah blah. You're sitting there in silence, in company, working on your laptop. Everybody's working on a laptop and everybody's working around. You come, you make your joke, you take the piss out of people, and
Yeah,
then you get
yeah,
back to work. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of
yeah,
those. So
yeah.
what does a day in the life of Alex look like as a real world student?
Okay, day in the life. I basically I back when I was at a job, I always used to work out before going to work. So
Mm,
I got up at like 4 a.m. I then put my workout session and then went to work. And this sort of remained the same. I work out very early. I start my day very early, and then I basically just sit on my PC, on my computer, do stuff when it's time to call. So when normal people work, I pick up the phone and call. And when normal people are not working, I just go back on my computer and continue my stuff, just plan the day and work on my current clients.
cool.
So
What I was gonna say before was that
yeah,
sometimes in certain areas of business it might work, it might not work, but you're cold calling, and I don't want to kind of stray off from what you're being taught. But sometimes you can make calls and you can cold call with the same script. But
yeah,
if you target your script or target your pitch to an so like you're targeting your pitch to me, but your pitch is about me, what you can do for me.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you've looked into me, you've looked into my background, you've looked into how I can help your business grow, not just a generic message, how I can help your business grow. How are you going to stand out from the other people that are sending, the other people like you that are like-minded like you? How are you going to stand out from the other person? What's going to make you different from the 50 people that they get in their inbox every single
well,
day?
yeah, yeah. As we said, you just have to put the work in. And by
Mm,
putting the work in this case, means a little bit of research. You just research them a little bit
exactly.
before you call them. And this is actually something that one of the guys I've met in the TRW told me, and thanks to his advice, I've made a lot more for me. And it was Jovan. It was Jovan Big G. He helped me a lot in this. He gave me some tips, some tricks.
Johan, do I know that name? Have I interviewed
Y-
this guy?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he's been very helpful to me, I have to say. And that's
Mm.
exactly what we said. If you're a lone wolf, you can just do this much. If you're around like-minded people who help you along the way, you can truly level up. And it's the tiny things that make the most difference.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, in a nutshell, if you was to put 5 bullet points down or 3 bullet points down, how would you say the real world has changed you as a person? And also, what would you say to someone if you was explaining the real world? How would you make them join the real world?
Okay, I would tell to
Twofold.
someone who want I would say I would say if you want to make something of yourself, give it a shot because you have everything you need, starting from your body, from your skill set, from your mindset, from your soft skills, hard skills. You have everything in here. So why not give it a shot? Why not give it a shot? And that's exactly what the real world did for me. It reframed my mindset, it reframed how I see the world, and by extension also what truly is important. Just so money is just a means to an end. That's all it is. And if you're helpful, you're gonna get some, and then you get to enjoy a little bit of what this beautiful planet has to offer us, you know?
And I like that. And I like the fact that you're out, you're about, you're traveling around, you're enjoying you're enjoying your time. You're enjoying, like, you're working hard, but you're enjoying what you've got. And
Yeah,
that's what's the important thing about it. Having what you said as well, the kind of geographical freedom,
yeah,
the financial and geographical freedom to go wherever you want, when you want, and if you want. Do you know what I mean? And
correct.
that
You
will only
nailed
get
it.
better. Yeah, that will only get better as you get kind of like more successful within your business, as you reach your targets, as you reach your goals. Don't forget about your targets, your goals, reach them,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then try and, obviously, the next time when you reach them, try and exceed them the next time. Look at what you've done right.
Absolutely.
Keep what you've done right. Anything that you've done that could be adjusted, adjust those things, and then obviously make things a little bit better from that. So yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely fine. So
Absolutely.
I won't keep you any much longer because I could talk to you for ages. It's actually been really, really cool. But I know that you've got your mum there, and you probably want to go out and get some lunch or get some food. What time is it there?
Right now, what time is it? It's 5 p.m. It's
Ah,
5
okay, cool.
p.m.
So it's fairly early.
Uh, so it's quite early, yeah. I see if I can catch Alex the Marshal. You know, he's here in Poland too. Let's see.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see that and just do a little bit of work and then grab a nice dinner and
Yeah,
enjoy the day.
that would be nice. That would be nice. Okay, cool. So awesome talking to you, Alex. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep pushing. Keep working. Keep enjoying as well, because I know
Absolutely.
you enjoy what you do. So just keep enjoying all of the things that you're doing and keep working hard. And then, yeah, we'll see you in the war room soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can count on that. You can count on that.
I'm pretty much very I love going to war room events, because especially when they do the sparring and they do the exercises and stuff like that. So you will see me in those events, but especially, well, in Europe and in Dubai, especially in Romania. I'll be there in Romania, but I'm here in Dubai a lot. So um, I'll be pretty much nearly every single one of them, if not all of them. So I'm
Fantastic.
sure,
A
yeah, I'm
reason
sure,
more to join.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure we'll meet someday. So yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And yeah,
Thank you.
all the best for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you for everything, Nigel.